You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back, Rudrance, for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and as always, all audio from all of our videos is available wherever you get your podcast from, as well as the Monday through Thursday live stream that's over on Rumble. We do mostly politics and entertainment on that stream, but we do some sports over there. Usually one or two sports stories a day. Sometimes it's sports heavy. So make sure wherever you get your podcast from, subscribe to that, and we upload that, or just come over to Black and White News on Rumble and check that out. So we've got a couple of things involving the Broncos here. One involving Sean Payton. Now, we know Sean Payton had been with Fox Sports during his year off, and the one thing that was very clear was Sean Payton could have been all-time great if he wanted to be an analyst for the media and on Fox Sports, and I would guess he could have eventually, more easily than we think, moved into a booth. He's got the charisma. He was very good during his hits on places like Colin Cowherd's show and on pregame shows. He was very good. He's got a great personality, and that's starting to show in Denver Broncos camp. Now, in case you do not realize this, they signed former Cowboys backup and XFL star, yeah, I said that, star, because he was probably the second or third best quarterback in all the XFL, Ben DiNucci. Well, they had a camp this past week. DiNucci was there, and let's just say he shit the bed right in front of the Walmart CEO that bought the Denver Broncos. And we also have, and this is the story we're going to get to first, we've got a Broncos teammate that has come out, and he is defending Russell Wilson. That's right. They're on full steam defense of Russell Wilson, the Broncos quarterback, saying that Russell Wilson wasn't the problem last year. Interesting. Nathaniel Hackett, was that the problem? We don't know yet. I think we're going to find out. Kareem Jackson probably knows every inch of the Denver Broncos locker room by now. This is SI and their Broncos section. It came as no surprise to see the Broncos re-sign the veteran safety for another season. He's pretty damn good, despite the arrival of safety J.L. Skinner in the draft. Framed in the big picture, surely the 35-year-old Jackson's savvy presence will provide Broncos head coach Sean Payton with an invaluable bridge to build upon between players and coaching staff. Payton has been busily adjusting the general attitude of the franchise. It's very clear. Last year, Russell Wilson was the biggest name in that franchise, and it was sort of his show, and he was calling the shots. That doesn't happen when Sean Payton shows up. He's got the biggest personality. He's calling the shots, and he's walking in with a Super Bowl ring and a load of success from the New Orleans Saints. And he's got that Parcells kind of attitude, which is really good. But only in some ways has totally new slate emerged because of many veterans like Jackson. They're still filtering through what caused so much dirty laundry to pile up last season. Yeah, we remember all the drama involving Russell Wilson having an office, parking space, nobody showed up to a party he had. It just looked real bad. Guys were disgruntled because Russell hadn't made a point to connect with the team. Russell had his own team of people in the building, which Sean Payton has already shit-canned them out of the building. And I think that will go a long way. Nobody's getting special treatment. Not even a many-time Pro Bowler like Russell Wilson. Everybody's there to work, and that sets the tone. Fast forward to last year, Russell comes in, and the expectations grow even greater. To just fall short of all goals you have as a team and those expectations for us is, quote, definitely frustrating, Jackson told 104.3 The Fan. Does every big city have a The Fan as a radio station? Quote, to obviously go out and lose the way we lost last year, having 8 or 9 one-score games and 2 or 3 walk-offs in OT, that stuff is even more frustrating. I'll be the first to tell you, and I will say this, I believe when you lose games like that, it does come down to coaching. I will say that. An unprecedented run of players landing on IR also meant that the Broncos were undermanned and grasping for able-bodied players for most of their disastrous 5-12 season. Veterans like Jackson are hardwired to block out making excuses over injuries, instead tend to extol the virtues of supporting the next man up. That said, Jackson knows in hindsight the Broncos were always behind the 8 ball. You know, injuries are real, but the whole league has injuries. I mean, you know, it becomes a mash unit by week 8. We had a ton of injuries, you know, had a bunch of different lineups out there. I might have been the only guy that played every game last year, Jackson told The Fan. If it's a revolving door when it comes to your lineup on both sides of the ball, there's no chemistry on defense, there's no chemistry on offense. Losing key pieces on offense, like starting wide receiver Tim Patrick and emerging running back Javonte Williams so early in the season, calamitous for the Broncos offense. I don't know if I said that word right, and I don't know if this guy's got his thesaurus out right in this article. I mean, really? Wilson was at the sharp end of the Broncos' struggle, especially after signing a lucrative contract extension on the doorstep of the season, failing to perform on a level commensurate with it. Definitely a lot of noise, a lot of outside noise as well. Look, your quarterback brought that on. For Russ, if you're the guy under center making that type of money, you're going to be the first guy that everybody will point out, Jackson said. I'll sit here and today and say that wasn't just the problem. We had a ton of problems. Indeed, you might have thought Jackson might want to exorcise his demons and put Denver in the rear view, but that wasn't how he felt deep down. He always wanted to return. For me, it was always the plan to sign back here when free agency started. They had a few things they wanted to get worked out, Jackson told The Fan. I know they wanted to get the offensive line and stuff, so George Paton told us, we want you back. We just want to iron some things out first, and then we'll get to your situation. And it goes on to talk about other moves they made in the offseason. So he's trying to let Russ off the hook, but we know Russell. I mean, there was a stat out there that I believe that the Broncos would have just scored 19 points a game on average, which is not great. I believe they would have won like 11 games last year. I mean, it was pretty eye-opening. If they could have gotten even competent quarterback play, that, you know, they would have won a lot of games last year. They might have got rolled in the playoffs because you got to put some points up because you're facing better quarterbacks, but you get my point. Broncos Sean Payton hit Ben DiNucci with a reality check after throwing a pick in front of the Walmart CEO. And this is why Sean Payton is great. He comes in, has that personality, that big personality, and he breaks the ice with things like this that you can tell the great Bill Parcells rubbed off on Sean Payton, because this is certainly something that Bill Parcells would have said. I always take people back to when Tony Romo got into the league and he was showing his ass for the Dallas Cowboys, and the media was lapping up Romo, and Bill Parcells famously said, let's not break out the anointing oils just yet. Yeah, I mean, he wanted to keep his players level. He did. DiNucci received some playing time with the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago, but was never able to become a mainstay on the NFL roster. In 2023, he joined the XFL and played the entire season with the Sea Dragons. With 2,671 passing yards, he had 20 touchdowns. However, DiNucci found out quickly in camp this week just how much different the NFL is from the XFL and other spring leagues. DiNucci threw an interception in front of new Broncos part owner and CEO Greg Penner According to new head coach Sean Payton, Penner is a chairman of Walmart. Payton revealed to reporters what he told DiNucci after the 2023 third-round pick, Drew Sanders, picked him off. Quote, "Unfortunately for Bing DiNucci, it was his first interception," Payton said. And there was more to that interception if you looked at it. It was a good play by Sanders. It was right in front of Greg Penner. I was telling Greg before practice how this Ben DiNucci was doing well. I told Ben, I said, you know, he owns Walmart. If this doesn't work out here, I'm sure there's a greeting opportunity somewhere at one of his local stores. That is priceless. It goes on to talk about the fact that DiNucci was a seventh round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to be battling Jarrett Stidham, and I fully expect Stidham will win that job, to be honest, because I think Sean Payton views Jarrett Stidham as a potential starter. Yeah, and I imagine he looks at Stidham and he goes, you know what, in my offense, after what I saw in the 2 games you started last year, especially against the Niners defense, where he shredded the shit out of my 49ers defense, made them look like fools, I was like, shit, Jarrett Stidham knows this Patriot offense. And I kind of wonder if Jarrett Stidham didn't get angry at Josh McDaniels, and that's why he chose to leave. Because, I mean, there's an obvious correlation between the fact that Stidham could have very well been Jimmy Garoppolo's backup, but he got out of there. He knows that Patriot offense, but that tells me right there, I think he thought he was going to get a starting opportunity, and then when Garoppolo showed up, it disappeared. Who knows? Who knows if the Raiders should have let Stidham walk out the door, but Sean Payton pounced right on him. And that's the kind of thing the locker room is going to love about Sean Payton. Ben DiNucci, XFL guy, makes a comment about there may be some store greeter opportunities available if the NFL doesn't work out. And I think we all know if Ben DiNucci doesn't work out in the NFL and the XFL shows back up next year, which Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson swears that it's going to, then Ben DiNucci will be back in Seattle, I would assume, with the Sea Dragons, and probably one of their better quarterbacks in that league. We'll find out. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. They're starting to cover Russell's butt a little bit in Denver, at least. I know that Kareem Jackson and Russell are around the same age. They're veterans. I think they tend to sort of hang out with each other. He might have even been there when Russell flipped the golf cart. You can't make this shit up. In fact, it may have been Kareem Jackson that flipped it. I don't know. It was one of those veteran dudes. Who knows? Sean Payton's going to make this team better, though. I will say that. Tell me what you think. Make sure you subscribe. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.